lives, innocent lives. I can tell you 90% of the people who die are innocent people. They have nothing to do with the conflict. They have no stake in it. They are just going about their daily lives. And these are the people who have been killed. The present government, President Mahama himself, made a declaration during the campaign. There can be no two chiefs in Bawku. There is a chief there already. He has come to power. He is quiet. He's mediating. People are feeling betrayed. The MP for Bawku Central, Mahama Yaraga, used the issue to campaign. We were all watching him, and we were not happy that they were exploiting the conflict for their campaign. I can tell you that when the issue started, and President Akufo-Addo at the time came out and said it was wrong, it was illegal, what happened in Nalergu should be condemned. There's a chief in Bawku already. If the NDC had come out at the time to join the president, to say the same thing, and to say, look, we stand with the president, we stand with the government, this should be resolved. I am telling you, the problem would have been resolved in 2023. The NDC didn't do it. They didn't do that. They wanted to exploit the issue for their political benefit. And they did. President Mahama used statements like, when NDC comes to power, there will be peace in Bawku. Whenever NPP comes to power, there is a conflict in Bawku. He used those statements. Mahama Yaraga used the same statements. Avoka and Co, they were all parading the place, using the same statements. They exploited the conflict. Now the people are angry. The people are feeling betrayed on the ground.
Well, Prof, in the latest situation that has occurred, the government has released a statement, and in the statement, there's an imposition of curfew. The school has been closed down because of the students who have died. The military have been deployed more into the place. In the interim, are these measures that are welcoming by you that are very directly affected by this conflict?
Same old, same old, same old. We have seen countless curfews in Bawku since 2021. If the curfews would have worked, the problem would have been solved long time ago. The curfews will not solve the problem. The military cannot be everywhere, every time. Ghana doesn't have that level of security. Even if Ghana send all their security forces onto the area, they can't cover the whole grounds all the time. Curfew is not the problem. It's not a solution. So the government must go back and address the issue of the lack of law enforcement, the impunity, the appeasement. Until the impunity, since this government came to power, what stopped them from instituting an inquiry into Bawku, even an independent inquiry into Bawku, to find out what happened in 2023, 2024, what happened? With all the military brutalities in the area, the military has killed more people in Bawku than the warring parties. The military has been very unprofessional. The military has been very heavy-handed, and the military has only escalated and escalated and escalated the situation on the ground. So you are adding more military there to only escalate the situation. This is the problem. So the government is not listening, and you wonder what expertise and advice they are getting from where. So they must go beyond the curfews. They must go back and address the root problems. They must stand by what they themselves said was wrong. They must enforce it. And they are spending huge sums of money escorting people to market. Huge sums of money escorting people to market on daily basis. These are taxpayers' money. Is that what you should be doing? Escorting civilians to market with taxpayers' money, with military armored tanks? Is that how you deploy the resource of the nation? This is what is disturbing all of us. The government must come out and hold the bull by the horns and bring about accountability and solve this problem once and for all. The problem, I have said, is lack of political will, just sheer incompetence and selfishness on the part of some individual politicians who are exploiting the situation for their own political benefit. And I'm telling you, they will not be spared themselves. Some of them, their property is being burned down. The people are turning their anger on them. And the earlier they realize that, the better. All the politicians from the area, the people are turning their anger on them because they feel betrayed. So, what is it that they are waiting for? Why can't they simply enforce the law? We don't need to enforce peace in Bawku. We need to enforce the law that was broken way back in 2021 when some people defied a court order. A court injunction, they defied it. They defied the president and went ahead and skinned the chief. What did that government do? Nobody was held to account. They sent the chief to Bawku under cover of darkness. And now there is 2 chiefs in Bawku. Until that problem is addressed, there will be no peace in Bawku. I am telling you, until that problem, the 2 chiefs in Bawku is addressed, there will be no peace in Bawku. No amount of military, no amount of curfew can bring peace to Bawku unless that issue is addressed.
Now, Prof, the issue has now gone beyond Bawku. It's not contained anymore within the enclave. It has spiraled down south. And so it raises so many concerns that with the issue happening in Bawku, where it's just in Bawku, you could find some solace in the fact that your people could seek refuge down south. Now it doesn't look so. In Asumah, some persons have been killed, and their killings have been related to the conflict happening. We've had conversations around other areas within the capital that some persons are fighting amongst themselves, and it looks like it is related to the conflict. The roads are not safe, where travelers are being attacked and all. The issue is fast deteriorating. You mentioned political will. You mentioned the fact that the current government had used the Bawku conflict to their advantage. The president, as soon as he was sworn in, visited Bawku first. Did that not inspire any confidence in you that it was going to be solved? So much so that we would not see it spiraling down south.
You are right. We were all excited when the president came to Bawku after 1 week of his inauguration. We were very happy. We were celebrating it. But it was all PR. The president is not sincere. He's either not sincere or they are just incompetent. The president is playing on the intelligence of the people. That is why people are angry on the ground. You came to Bawku and says that what has happened? Nothing. Not a single policy has changed. On Bawku, nothing. He's continued the same old disabled. This is my, look, in 2022, I told the then Defense Minister Nitiwal that this conflict is going to spread. If they don't take time, the conflict will spread. And Nitiwal looked at me and just walked away. They did nothing. We are on the ground. We are picking the signals. We are telling the authorities what to do, what can happen, and they're not listening. Look at this Asumah. Look at the attacks in Accra, attacks in many other places, in Bolga. It's happening. It's spreading to Nalerugu, to Walawale. it is spreading. And if this government doesn't take time, they are going to be, Bawku will embarrass this government, and they will have to explain to Ghanaians why they've allowed this thing to fester and to spread to the rest of the country, when all they need to do is to enforce the law. President Mahama, as I said, he said it multiple times. There can be no two kings in Bawku. There can be no two chiefs in Bawku. He came to Bawku and said that. He said that at various political platforms. Up till now, there are still two chiefs in Bawku. I am telling you again, unless that issue is solved, there will be no peace in Bawku. There will be no peace in the issue will only escalate. This is what I'm telling you. They have not. Asantehene cannot solve this problem. Let me tell you for a fact. Asantehene will not solve this problem. There is no declaration that Asantehene will come out and make that will bring peace to the area. I am telling you, unless the law is enforced, you don't go to appease wrongmakers, lawbreakers, those who commit criminal acts. You go on to appease them. How will that bring peace? It is only going to make people more angry. And listen, my sister, there is political manipulation in the chieftaincy institution throughout the country. It's not just Bawku. Look at what is happening in the BA, in Brongahafo, in the Bono areas. Look at what is happening in Oti. Look at what is happening even in Accra here. Look, the tensions are bubbling because the politicians are interfering and meddling, and the chiefs themselves are also interfering and meddling in politics. The chiefs and the politicians together are destroying the sacred chieftaincy institution because of the way they are corrupting the system and trying to manipulate the system for their individual benefits. And somebody needs to tell the chiefs and the politicians this, that they are destroying a pillar, a foundational pillar of Ghanaian traditions and culture and our society, which is the chieftaincy institution. And if they don't take time, there's going to be conflict everywhere. Bawku is setting the precedent for other areas. I am telling you, if they don't take time, this is what I'm worried about.
Prof, you say that there's no statement Asantehene can make that will change anything. But he's been called into the conversation to mediate the situation, looking at his eminence and his standing, not just in the country, but globally. You do not believe that the Asantehene can add his voice to the matter, and for the fact that his voice is part, some calm, some peace prevails in Bawku.
Oh, it's not about eminence. Asantehene is well respected across the country and beyond. There's no doubt about that. This issue is not that there are no people who are respected who can intervene in the issue. The issue is about the truth. And as I'm saying, when Asantehene is talking about mediation, that his mandate is mediation. He is trying to mediate to bring about a compromise. I am telling you, a compromise will never be accepted on the ground, because this is an issue that was addressed by the highest court of the land in 1958 and in 2003. It is an issue that was addressed and resolved by a commission of inquiry. They came out with their official report. It is all there. Now, and some people have refused to accept all of that. They have refused to accept the appeals court determination. They have refused to accept the commission of inquiry findings. They have refused to accept the Supreme Court rulings in 2003. They are insistent that they must have their way. So, are you telling me Asantehene is more than the Supreme Court, the appeals court, the commission of inquiry that went into this? So, it is not about that. It is about some group of people insisting. And you see, it's like when you have a spoiled child and he's insisting that I must have this at all costs. If you think that you can appease the spoiled child, you will only come for more. And that is what is happening. If Asantehene comes up even with a slighted sniffer of a compromise, the people on the ground will never accept it. They will say that a court has ruled, 2 courts have ruled, a commission of inquiry has ruled, and yet the people have refused. That is what needs to be enforced. It's the court rulings that needs to be enforced, not the mediation. What is happening in Bawku, President Akufo-Addo said it, President Mahama said it, that is criminality, it's not chieftaincy. How can Asantehene mediate on criminality? This is what I'm telling you, that the politicians are playing on the intelligence of the people, and the people have realized that, and they are now angry. They told them there is no chieftaincy conflict in Bawku, it's criminality. If it's criminality, why do you bring an eminent chief like Asantehene to mediate? How do you mediate on criminality? This is the problem.
Saying that bringing in Asantehene into this matter is a non-starter. They shouldn't have bothered him by calling him to mediate. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Asantehene can tamper down the flames, can call the 2 chiefs and tell them, look, go back, talk to your people, bring down the tension, while the government comes out with ways of solving the root causes. Asantehene will not solve this problem, I am telling you. We are on the ground, we are picking the signals from the people. The youth are determined. If Asantehene comes out with any slight compromise, that they are going to reward violence and illegality. Some people who have defied court orders, they have defied the president and have gone to inskin a rival chief. When there's been a chief for 40 years plus, if you reward that, you can imagine what will happen. The youth on the ground are determined, they will not accept that compromise. All that the youth are demanding is that the law should be enforced. The president himself said it, 2 of them, not only Akufo-Addo. President John Mahama said the issue in Bawku is not chieftaincy. It is criminality. It is illegality. It is about enforcing the law. Mahama said that. Akufo-Addo said that. Tell me where Asantehene's role is in enforcing the peace, enforcing the law. It's about law enforcement. And let me say this, unfortunately, the way our security is run by the state is a sad spectacle. The security force of Ghana are becoming a laughing stock because of the way they are manipulated and twisted by the powers that be. And that is sad. When the politicians themselves are escalating the situation, when the last government was about to leave power, they knew that the NDC used the situation to exploit it for their political benefit. What did they do? They did not only send the chief back, the rival chief to Bawku, to escalate the situation. The people on the ground are suspicious, and they're talking about the fact that some of the ammunition that the state is talking about going missing, some of it have found their way to Bawku to matter the situation, to make it difficult for the current government, because they were using it for their political benefit. So the politicians themselves have escalated the situation. So unless the politicians really step back, there is a point in politics where you say, look, national interest first. I expected that from the NDC in 2023. They should have said national interest first. They should have joined the NPP government to find a solution to Bawku. They didn't do that. President Mahama went quiet. The NDC party went quiet. And they were stalking people on the ground. They were stalking the fires on the ground. And we knew it. And we were talking about it. Stop it. It's dangerous. They didn't listen. And before the NPP left, they escalated the whole thing by sending the chief back by sending the rival chief that they had issued a warrant to arrest. They sent him back to Bawku. And as I said, the people on the ground have suspicion that ammunition was sent to Bawku to arm one party, to escalate the whole thing. And that's what we are seeing. So the politicians have been directly involved in escalating the conflict. And unless they pull back themselves, the youth will not pull back.
Prof, thank you so much for your time this morning. We're all hoping with you that this issue in Bawku ends once and for all. We are all feeling the impact of it, and we understand your frustration with it, that it is your own people that are going through this very unfortunate situation. We hope that some peace is restored in Bawku and restored there very, very quickly. Thank you for your time. We'll be looking forward to speaking with you the more, sir.
Thank you.